It was 5 years ago that Ursula von der Leyen squeaked her way into the chair as head of the European Commission by just a handful of votes. Her attempt to get re-elected for a second term is likely to be just as close. 2 weeks ago, EU leaders nominated von der Leyen despite an occasionally controversial stint in charge of the bloc's executive branch.
I would plain and simply like to express my gratitude to the leaders who endorsed my nomination.
One key dissenting voice, though, is Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni.
The leadership proposal from the Conservative, Socialist and Liberal parties was wrong, partly because there was no discussion considered regarding the mandate for these leadership nominees. In the wake of European elections, where citizens clearly asked for a new direction for the EU.
Meloni is not the only person unhappy with von der Leyen. Ahead of Thursday's ballot on whether to confirm her for another 5 years in charge, talk has grown about objections and opposition to her leadership of the Commission. A vital issue for some is the question of transparency. That was capped on Wednesday ahead of the vote by an EU court ruling which criticised the Commission's handling of COVID-19 contracts. More significant, however, are questions about Ukraine. MEPs on Wednesday backed a motion reaffirming support for Kyiv at a time when Europe appears increasingly divided about the war with Russia. That comes less than 3 weeks after EU leaders signed a new security deal with Ukraine. The key player is Hungary, which currently holds the EU's rotating presidency. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has talked about using the position for something he calls peace missions. Those include meetings with Ukrainian war critics like China's President Xi Jinping, Donald Trump, and a visit to Moscow. The so-called missions have been at odds with other European leaders and exacerbated EU tensions, undermining efforts to boost military support for Kyiv at a critical time in the war. On Tuesday, newly re-elected EU Parliament President Roberta Metsola said there would be discussions about how to engage with Budapest and Orbán.
If I see that there were attempts to talk to Russia a few days before a children's hospital is bombed, that is a result of politics that I do not share.
MEPs on Wednesday, meanwhile, voted to reaffirm the EU's strong support for Ukraine. Orbán's peace missions have gained support from some in the European Parliament, though, including a new right-wing alliance led by France's far-right National Rally.
Viktor Orbán didn't just only meet with Vladimir Putin, but also with Zelensky in Ukraine. Every war is ended by peace in some way. So in some way, we need to work to peace.
Ursula von der Leyen may be hyper-focused on getting her confirmation over the line. Even if she manages that, however, the challenges facing her, the Commission and the EU itself are bigger than ever. Flynn, TRT World.